how is Chad Gable in real life? Are they really a nice person? Are they a respectful person? What's going on, everybody? This is Dr. Chris Featherstone here to let you know about myself. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to explore my life as a journalist. And so I do have a PhD in psychology. I'm a licensed psychologist. Before I started to endeavor into the mental health field, I spent a lot of my time as a sports and media journalist. I was able to have the blessing to write for publications such as Sports Illustrated, Fox Sports, Bleacher Report, and a lot of others. I also have a podcast called Pancakes and Power Slams that I started back in 2012 that for a large portion, I was able to have weekly interviews. As a matter of fact, I've been able to amass over 500 interviews with professional wrestlers, including a couple dozen WWE Hall of Famers and many, many, many legends. And so with that, I was able to meet people, talk to people, build relations with people after the interview people multiple times because of building relationships with people. So there are hundreds of people that I have stories about that I've never got an opportunity to share. So from now on, I will share those stories. So with that being said, there's a guy named Chad Gable, and he currently is one of the most sought after, one of the most talked about names in all of professional wrestling with his emotionally invoking feud that he had with El Grande Americano. He is the original El Grande Americano. Unfortunately, he was unable to win the mask versus mask match, and he had to get his mask removed as a result. And he was able to go to SmackDown. He's able to go to Raw. He's getting a praise out of respect from the fans now. And we actually saw him defending the Luchadors now. Would that be a babyface turn? I'm going to bring you, the viewer, in of the real life interactions that I've had with these wrestlers. I was able to meet Chad Gable. I was able to interview Chad Gable. And how do I think about Chad Gable in real life? How is Chad Gable in real life? Chad Gable is a very highly respected person on the camera, and away from the camera, he's exactly the same. Chad Gable is a very, very professional person, a very nice person. I've interviewed hundreds of wrestlers, and some, it's just a matter of it's just another person. They're drained out. Next. When I was able to interview Chad Gable and as well as Otis, they were still Alpha Academy at the time. He was very respectful off the camera. I've interviewed so many people and see them be different and a different person on the camera, and then off the camera, not the best to interact with. And of course, I'll get to those stories later. But with Chad Gable, though, very professional, stand-up guy. He was the type of person that I noticed when I interviewed him, and I paid attention. Always pay attention of off the camera, because that's oftentimes the real personality, the real version of that person, of who they are. Are they really a nice person? Are they a respectful person? Chad Gable, on and off the camera, was professional. He was respectful, and we were able to talk. We were able to joke around a little bit, and he was just a really good person to talk to. Very easygoing, very, very approachable, very warm and welcoming person. He didn't have any type of dynamic of superiority or feeling like he was the wrestler and I was the interviewer. Chad Gable was happy to be interviewed by me, and he thanked me, and he showed that, and stuff like that really goes a long way, because to him, I wasn't just another number as an interviewer. To Chad Gable, I was someone who he wanted to be sure that he gave the best content to, just like he did every other person who interviewed him. So I was able to interview him during SummerSlam weekend a couple of years ago, and it was such an honor and a privilege to interact with, meet with, and interview Chad Gable. As far as my grade of interacting and meeting and talking to Chad Gable, I would give it an absolute A, because it actually mimics and mirrors the professionalism and the work ethic that he put in. He mirrors that as far as just how he interacts with people from a media perspective. Very happy to meet Chad Gable, and it was such an honor. And if you want to know the process of meeting Chad Gable to be approved by WWE to interview wrestlers, go ahead and check and click on that link on the screen.